Hello, this is Cherry Ibas, and welcome to my reflection presentation Journal 1 Connection to Land. This is the famous Indian Battle Park in Lethbridge. One significant incident between the Blackfoot people and a group of Crees in 1870 is known as the Battle of the Belly River. The Blackfoot people still live with history and war knowledge alive in their communities. Many families have tales about the deeds of their ancestors, and some even own relics from the battle on that day. The name Company Bottom, which originally referred to the hamlet of Coalbanks, the mining camp operated by the Lethbridge Colliery, was given to the section of the river bottom where this park is situated. In this world where the only constant is change, I feel the excitement and enthusiasm to learn about Indigenous studies. Indigenous studies explore the culture, history, experiences, and values of Indigenous people in Canada. I admire how they keep their cultural preservation, culture, and land rights. This field of study seeks to understand how Indigenous people live and understand their experiences deeply. This allows space to learn about their cultural traditions and respect each other's culture. The Indigenous people greatly shows the deep connection to the land, with their values, culture, way of living, and how they are connected with nature. They uphold the values of the Aboriginal people and inculcate the customs and educate philosophy. It is evident that storytelling has a great impact in educating children about the culture and survival skills. They are more on teaching on experience by loving families. They play a big role in passing the knowledge, values, acknowledging their land and traditions for the next generation. Although faced with colonialism and challenges, I felt they strive to restore their connection with the land that they respected, protected, and loved. Today, as I can see some historic places and rock formations by the Indigenous people, I feel so proud of their bravery and stewardship. I believe that it is important that we recognize, hear the stories, and make connections with the past for us to make a better version of us in the future. Watching The Elder in the Making Episode 2 and learning about the historical places in Fort Macleod, which was marked in Winter Count. Winter Count is a way of recording the historical events and other important events. Indigenous people use this way to keep track of the meaning of the certain related occasions. This town has always been where most of the Blackfoot people stayed. The town of Fort Macleod was able to preserve its town and the historical places. The Indigenous philosophy's purpose is to pay special honor to the origins as well as the nature of the knowledge that came from specific environments. This aims to further understand, influence, and will continue to influence the evolution of codes of conduct in Indigenous communities. The value of relationship and the five tenets of native science, which are mutually dependent, these categories are helpful to better understand concepts. Their first rider, a Kainai elder, shared about his knowledge and experiences at the Okotoks Erratic. A towering mass of quartzite stand out among the prairie landscape. It is widely known as Big Rock, but for Blackfoot it is Okotoks. This location for Blackfoot people, this is where the world began and the story behind the Napi and the Rock. He shared that through Napi stories, children learned about knowledge, life lessons, and importantly, morals. The place was used for ceremony and documentation, using the red ochre to record important events, images, battle scene directly into the rock surface. This is a form of a record in stone for the Blackfoot people. I am moved on how he shared about the struggles that Blackfoot food people experienced through colonialism, that language was banned, religious activity, and even visiting the site. Akataks is not just historic place, but it talks about the past of the Blackfoot's people's language. This story made me realize that I need to acknowledge my own roots and continue preserving our own languages. In the Philippines, we have different languages, but due to changes, younger generations speak English and forgot about the native language. A realization that I have in mind while writing this reflection is that I need to uphold our own native language and teach my children so that they can pass it on to the next generation. Honestly, this is an eye opener for me. It is so fascinating to learn about the cultures of the indigenous people. Through this course, watching videos, reading books, and articles made me reflect that acknowledging this land from indigenous it's a way for us to connect with the past and make us realize what is it in the present. Indeed, it is the continuity of the past to the present life. The colonization has a great impact in the life of the indigenous people on how they thrive to surpass it. I can also relate because in the cultures that we have in the Philippines on how we got our freedom from the colonization of other countries. Honestly, as I read the books and watch the videos, it reminded me the relationship of the indigenous communities with the land. I have a lot of realization that everything in this world is changing, but we need to look back where everything came from for us to fully realize why certain things are here in the present, and for us to appreciate every certain people surrounding us. Before, I don't really have any idea about the life of indigenous people, but through this course, it made me realize that as a newcomer here in Canada, I am aware of my position and responsibilities. I have a better view of understanding how rich their cultures are and on their ongoing struggles they face in our society. Deep inside, I am proud and have a fully respect of their culture. I am more excited to continue this learning process with the culture and traditions of the indigenous people.